Peace, everybody. I'm back. So I wanted to go into detail regarding the manner that I spoke of briefly in my video yesterday of Osiris, right? Because I said that they didn't tell you what happened with Osiris, right? We're gonna talk about that today, and I'm gonna use um a little bit of this video that I found to be very interesting. Y'all can go back and watch it. I shared it in my community section yesterday, and it is talking about Isis and Osiris. And I'm gonna share a little bit of his video. The brother, what's his name? I'm sorry, y'all, I'll butcher. Kurameo. I think that's his name. So I'm gonna let this play for a second, and then I'm gonna talk about it after. So I'm gonna share. Yeah.
Unto us as traditions in the sacred books of various nations, and which are regarded by many as inexplicable myths. So they're talking about how it's basically the same stories of the gods, right? Same mythology, right? Reoccurring, duplicating all over the world, repeating, right? And you find it in these same Mayan scriptures, all these myths. For instance, we find in them the history of certain personages who, after their death, became the gods most universally revered by the Egyptians, Isis and Osiris, whose earthly history related by Wilkinson and other writers who regard it as a myth corresponds exactly to that of Queen Mu. Queen Mu is Isis. That's what he's telling you. Her brother husband, Prince Ko, is Osiris, whose charred heart was found by me, preserved in a stone urn in his mausoleum at Chichen. He found this, Augustus. He did archaeological work and he found.
Pause. So you see here they said that it's speaking of Mayan texts have spoken of the same story as the Egyptians, Isis and Osiris, right? And then it speaks about her brother husband, right? And it said whose charred heart was found by me. So hold on here. Give me a second. Just because I want to come all the way correct for y'all. Okay, so charred. What does it say here? According to the definition online, it says simple past tense, past particle of char. And it says in the adjective manner, burnt or carbonized. Okay, carbon. We know that represents the man, the number of man, right? Six neurons, six neutrons, six electrons in your carbon body, right? So, in other words, that's what they found in these temples. I'm about the he said his heart. We talked about the heart space yesterday, and we've been harping on the heart space a lot because what I want y'all to understand that when the masculine and the feminine are separated, or the two twins separated, you get different aspects of it and it reflects differently. And what they did to Osiris was they took her from him. Now, if you're a brother, can you imagine that being a situation where your daughter or your mother is took from you? Now, when they took his mother or his heart or his daughter or his sister, whichever feminine derivative we need for it to make sense in the physical, when they took that from him, he was left with something else. And in this article, he's going to talk about how it happened and what was the result, the government system. And I'm gonna come back. Let's go ahead and put this back on full screen. And let him read
The
it.
statue, all right? Osiris, we are told, was killed by his brother through jealousy. And because his murderer wished to seize the reins of the government, he made war against the widow, his own sister, whom he came to hate bitterly, after having been madly in love with her. In these same books, we learn the true meaning of the tree of knowledge. In the middle of the garden, of the temptation of the woman by the serpent, offering her a fruit, this offering of a fruit as a declaration of love.
Okay, so we see where they talk about how Osiris' heart was charred, and it spoke about how he was killed by his brother. Well, in reference to this article, it's the lower nature, so the lower part of you, right? Because what happens when you take spirit out of the person or out of anything? As we've seen, this planet is out of order and is disconnected because we have no spiritual balance, which means that we have no knowledge of the way this thing is supposed to work, or true alchemy, right? And right now it's talked in this book about he wanted to let me go back so I can get it exactly. So it says Osiris, we are told, was killed by his brother through jealousy. Now, jealousy is an aspect of your lower nature. And because his murderer wished to seize the reins of the government. So when we talk about what we talked about yesterday and the lower frequencies that are currently running the government planet, okay? Now we understand more and more of what is Trump in there to do? Why is he actually in this position? And I told y'all, these are entities. So they creator gods, scientists. You are nothing more, we are nothing more than emanations of that. Meaning science is all the chemicals or the cells or whatever combined to make your body. We come from spirit, okay? But when they took his heart or his divine aspect, his feminine aspect of his self, his soul, because you know the heart and soul are connected, they replaced it. They did not just leave Osiris here with nothing, or so to speak. They replaced it with what? Artificial intelligence, or AKA the artificial world, the material world. They replaced it with ego. They replaced it with, yeah, they replaced it with perversion of the very aspects of himself that they were keeping him from, aka the divine feminine. Perversion, okay? Making war against the widow, his own sister, which means that there was a time where there was harmony in between the both sexes, right? But once it was no longer harmony, you had what? Chaos. Hold on. Which is, oh, 1 second, y'all. Okay, so they replaced it. What they did now is they give you material. They build you up as a masculine entity on ego. That's not to say they don't do the same with the feminine, but because your nature first as a male or masculine energy is action or physical, it affects you differently than it does the feminine when you are out of tune with the other side of yourself, right? Or your soul pattern, should I say. So what you got now is glorification of the Kim K's, glorification of the fake bodies, right? This is all artificially altering of what you already have. So the natural state is what was altered. So when they replace these things, now Osiris is now in a place of confusion, just the same as the mother was in a space of confusion when she did not know herself in both of her aspects, right? The balance was out of place. This is the story of the tree in the garden, the tree of knowledge. Once you start to know the left and the right, you know they both have placements, right? But I want y'all to understand that his heart was charred and replaced, meaning he don't even acknowledge or know the true nature into which love emanates. Okay, so I'm about to let it play a little bit more and then I'm done with this.
Of the tree of knowledge, in the middle of the garden, of the temptation of the woman by the serpent, offering her a fruit. This offering of a fruit as a declaration of love, which was a common occurrence in the everyday life of the Mayas, Egyptians, and Greeks, loses all the seeming incongruity it presents in the narrative of Genesis for lack of word of explanation. But this shows how very simple facts have been and still are made use of by crafty men, such as the high priest Hilkiah, to devise religious speculations and impose on the good faith of ignorant, credulous, and superstitious masses. It is on this story of the courting of Queen Mu by Prince Ak, the murderer of her husband, purposely disfigured by the scheming Jewish priest Hilkiah, who made the woman appear to have yielded to her tempter, perhaps out of his spite against the prophetess Huldah, she having refused to countenance his fraud and to become his accomplice in it, that rests the whole fabric of the Christian religion, which since the advent in the world has been the cause of so much bloodshed and so many atrocious crimes.
Now stop here. We're gonna pause here. Did y'all hear that? They're telling you about how Christianity even became a thing because the duo that is the original creation of this planet was taken over and overthrown, or should we say Osiris was killed. So if you have a lower nature, patriarchal ruling right now, we see how it can be sold in a lie. The liar, right? And then it said he made war with the widow. So it's telling you what happened to Dinah. Let's pull it back up again. And this happened to Dinah, but we're not gonna make no mistake to the fact that we are multidimensional beings who have the ability to transcend and transform, which means that you are not ever really dead. But I want y'all to understand that the resurrection, that I'm not even gonna jump ahead. We're gonna talk about it. Let me go back though. I gotta go back to this part in the article. Hold on. I'm not, I think I'm sharing. Nope, I'm not. I think, okay. Let's see. Okay, so this is so they replaced real love or the real Mother Earth with the artificial world we see. They have you so disconnected from your divine mother, okay, that you don't even like to eat green salad. You don't even like vegetables. What's the predominant color of this planet? It is green. So they got you so perverse from the craftiness of the lower nature of this God of this world that they are showing you in your face by your regular diet that you don't even like your mama like that. Okay? So understand that that's how far manipulative and perverse this system is now, to where you don't even like vegetables. That's not your predominant diet when we know it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be eating more fruits and vegetables than you eat anything else. Let's be clear. But this is how deep they've gone to manipulate the love between the union of the father and the mother. So hold on, let's see. This, what is the part that I'm so okay, he made war against the widow, his own sister, whom he became to hate bitterly after having been madly in love with her. So in other words, they filled you up on the physical and the ego, which results in nothing more than war. And they took her and her true love and compassion away from him. So, fellas, those of y'all who haven't had it in your hearts to remember the mother, it ain't all your fault. It's, judgment is going to be on thyself or thy soul, or should we say the mother, regardless. But a lot of it is because you know not what you do. As long as your heart is pure and innocent on this path, what you don't know, you cannot be held accountable for. But listen to what they did. They made war against her. Mind you, it's telling you what kind of war was made against her, right? Because all throughout this book that we just heard him reading from, it was telling you that he had to overthrow her highest aspect of masculine in order to gain control over the government. That's the seat of Satan right there, that you being ruled by right now, the one who is controlling your consciousness. Now let's go to the story of Cupid. How is this correlate? We finna find out. It says here, I'm gonna just read it right here. Oh, sorry, baby. Okay. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen with y'all. So it says Cupid. Okay, let's see here. It says Cupid is able to fully appreciate Psyche's beauty. Now remember the story of Cupid and Psyche. The happy ending with Venus, Psyche, and Cupid are all reach positive resolutions. Illustrate that when love is pure, all pains and sorrow and challenges will align to ensure love is realized. Even nature, as the ants and eagles demonstrate, support true love. Okay. Now I read y'all that because we know today is quote unquote Valentine's Day. So we know that this day was accumulated to signal something celestial wise as well as in the third dimension. For those who have ears, let them hear. This is the Church of Philadelphia, your heart space, okay? And if you become too consumed with the material world or the physical world or the physical manifestation, you will be out of tune with the one thing that's supposed to nourish and replenish you, okay? That is your soul purpose, your heart space. You can only gain the knowledge of that through following your heart and listening to it. But if you have not been training to do so by the inner planes of you, you will not know how that is even supposed to look. And the main objective of this government system that is controlling your consciousness is to keep you focused on just the physical. Now, when we hear the story of Cupid and Psyche, let's see. Let's ask Google what Psyche even means. I'm finna turn y'all on to some info for real today. Okay, so psyche means it exceeds its origin to uncover the precious insights to a person's identity, luck, as well as lessons. Okay, I don't know. It's fine. I'll take that meaning. But I was really looking for the one that comes up when you go on regular Google. And they got AI behind that now. So now that the mother is turning it up, they're learning how to put the right information on here. But anyways, since it ain't in this one, I'll just tell y'all. The word means soul or inner planes. That's what psyche means. That's your psyche. So they took his soul from him. So the Osiris y'all looking for, he should be in the same aspects as her. And the Isis you looking for should be in sync with him. Because this is a dual world. So I want to read to y'all out of the Essene Gospel. I don't have it on the screen, but if you I'll post it in the community section because y'all know I'll be over here breastfeeding and moving and grooving. But I'm going to read it to you guys. And this is chapter 38, and it says the Magdalene's lion comes to her side at the pass through the mountain of transfiguration. I'm gonna start, it's page 555, and then I'm gonna start at verse 2. Miriam needed to fill her water bags, so she climbed the mount and walked to the spring. Seven men with demonic eyes emerged from the bush and attacked her. Now I'm going to stop right there because I want to say something about the 7 men. When you are not in control of your consciousness, your chakras or your 7 seals or them 7 spirits are not in tune with you. So when you are not in tune on all aspects, they cannot turn on. So you either controlling them or they're being controlled. Okay. So back to this scripture here. So it says 7 men with demonic eyes emerged from the bush and attacked her. Miriam, using the Nazarene martial art of Zahin, knocked 3 of the attackers to the ground. This is telling you code. This is code. Mind you, we got to always read between the lines because Spirit is going to tell you the truth about a matter. That 3 is code for the third chakra, which is the Kundalini seat, right? That's Kali Ma. That's Shakti. That's her fire. That's her flame. So the third chakra, the 3 gates of Orion belt. If you ever wonder why you see superheroes they all have an emblem or some sort on their belt line. It's a sign from the celestial realms of where the power comes from. Your third chakra is your second brain. All right. So she turned that on. So she knocked 3 of the attackers to the ground, but the 4th hit her in the head with a rock, knocking her unconscious. Here we go with number 4, right? On the day of love. 4 represents what? The heart chakra. So it didn't just happen to Osiris, but I want y'all to know how bad it got with Osiris and her because it went 2 ways. It was dual in the way it affected. Just like you see it affects society in dual ways. There's no real love out here in this world. If it was, you wouldn't see the catastrophes you see now. It's a war plane now, the testing grounds. So in her head with a rock, hit her in her head with a rock, knocking her unconscious. We know when you're out of tune with your heart space, you are not conscious. So one of the men began ripping Miriam's robe from her body. Okay. Why does it sound like the same story of Dinah? Let me continue. While the other 6 tied her down with the robe, then behold, Yeshua came upon the scene. Now let me say this, y'all. If we read this one more time and talk about what happened, and we talking about so quote unquote the trafficking of the little ones and also females, right? Prostitution or whatever word we want to use for the purpose of this channel. What's really going on? We know this thing happens in a multidimensional aspect. So even though we're just here on this planet, so we believe, our consciousness is connected to different grids. So this didn't just happen physically. I'm gonna continue. So he threw the 7 demonically possessed men off of Marion. Lo, in a fight, very short duration, Yeshua defeated all 7 attackers. Okay, Yeshua, Yeshaya, Christ, whatever. It's talking about the Christ mind, okay? Yes, we're reading the story of the divine feminine and the masculine, but we also know that this is also a spiritual as well. So your Christ mind took over and started to fight the fight or raise the lion, okay? All right, let me see here. And then I'm going to jump down to verse 15. It says, for the dark forces had identified her and wished to end her incarnation before she accomplished whatever might be her mission. The same thing we just read or heard Brother Kudameo read out of that book that spoke about what happened to Osiris's heart and how it was sharp. Okay. Now let's see, number 17. I'm at verse 17 now. Before Miriam could join the battle, Yeshua had defeated the 7. After the 7 fled, Miriam embraced her lion, Yeshua. She embraced her lower nature because she had already conquered it. She overthrew it. Or she embraced her husband, who she created this realm with, darkness and light, okay? For 7 days and 7 nights, Miriam and Yeshua camped on the mount. For on the first night, while in embrace by fire, there's that third chakra, Yeshua said to Miriam, soon enough we will again give ourselves to saving this world from the hands of the spoilers. In other words, soon enough again, the keys that Enoch told you, you will be sent the emanations from the Mother and the Father, the All Mind, the Masters, the Ascended Ones, the angelic forces, the Seraphim, the Cherubim. You will be sent them to help you unlock the seals that you are stuck in your consciousness with. They are here to help you do that, both masculine and feminine. All right, 24. Miriam later told me, Jaleel, when Yeshua and I made love for the first time in this incarnation, I knew what it meant to be a human woman. So she's telling you that's how creation began. The Big Bang Theory that we're talking about, it's a clash of the elements. The spirit meets the physical, or the mother meets the father, and they create the son, the child. Wherefore, the Aaronic Torah wrongly teaches that Eve was made for Adam, but not Adam for Eve. Lo, Eve was made for Adam, but Adam was also made for Eve, neither subservient to the other, serving one another in Yah. For only in serving one another deeply, we are deeply served. Now I'm finna jump down here to 41. The masculine and feminine polarities on this mount were potent and fertile. Together, they wove the pattern that is the sign of life, the double helix. Don't y'all hear about the double helix all the time when I'll be reading out of the Keys of Enoch? Yes. Okay. So it's telling you that the divine masculine and feminine poles come together to create that. It also is telling you how it's woven together, aka the new grid, the grid being formed. Now I'm finna go over here to verse 48. So the Lord and the lady stood together upon the Mount of Transfiguration and gazed upon the world. Miriam said, O nations of Israel, how long will you reject your mother? How I long for you to take shelter beneath my wings as chicks with a hen. For lo, I am the mother hen, and you are the chicks from my womb. Yeshua said, O nations of Israel, how long will you mock, slander, and kill the prophets of Jaja who walk amongst you? Will you not now receive your mother? All right. And then it says, or will you reject her even more fully than you reject me? Okay. I had to get loud for that because you hearing right now, live and direct, the divine masculine tell you what he felt about his mother and how y'all replaced her with an artificial act. You made her undesirable. You made even her source of life to replenish your body. Open your seals. Do you know that for every chakra is the food you can eat to enhance your ability to resonate with it? The foods. So they have even perverted her to that degree. They took it too far. So it says then, okay, for lo, here he is again speaking. Then, okay, hold on. Even more fully than you reject me. Then the Lord and the lady began their walk to meet John the proclaimer at Haja Ford. For lo, John would proclaim their coming to the world. So when John, what do John talk about? Y'all know I put this out in my thing many of times, but I really want to just expound. Give me 1 second. Hold on, son. I'm coming. Okay, so let me go back to where I was reading from. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, y'all. So let me go back to where I was reading from. So when I tell y'all about them, they took it, they did give something else to y'all or us or Osiris, should we say. And it wasn't what we thought it was. So now you know the real meaning behind the movie They Clone Tyrone. If you remember in that movie, they had a recording box in a room that was closed with the door locked, and it was supposed to be his mother talking to him the whole time. And he opens the door one day after all of the chaos that he had went through, and he finds out that it wasn't his mom, it was actually a tape recorder being played, and that his mom had already died. Sound just like the killing or the slaying of Osiris's heart. Okay. But let me continue in this book. So for lo, John would proclaim their coming to the world. Yeah, those certain wise ones had already recognized their coming, and the time had come for the public proclamation of their coming to go forward in fulfillment of the Nazarene prophecy. If you don't know, the new program is a dual program, okay? It is the mother's age. Let's understand that. And he wants it for her to be his age. But in order for him to want that, he's going to have to be on the sideline, making sure all of the laws are enforced to bring that together. Because it's going to be a coming together of both aspects. Those of us who have cleansed our hearts and our spirits to actually see that. So now I got to give y'all one more precept. I'm here in the Keys of Enoch. I'm in key 118, and I'm just going to give y'all a little bit out of the keys to further talk about what we just read. So it's key 118, and the verse is 22. So we are now witnessing the coming together of scientific evolution and consciousness as both unite into their consciousness of living life. And the energy used by the infinite mind, the infinite creation, and the infinite species, the living light will be understood in the code I am that I am. The consciousness of light as one star creation is attached to the higher I am consciousness of the higher evolution, forming the I am that I am. Verse 25. And it will occur after the wars between the sons of light, the sons of light versus the sons of darkness, that will come a new age will occur for all mankind, surviving the great changes among all of the vicissitudes on this planet. Those, however, who will not choose to be chosen in taking the higher spiral of light instead the lower spiral of decay and entropy will not receive the final destruction, but return to the beginning to be recycled of matter and primal earth. This will begin the next cycle of recreation as the righteous are advanced to the next ordering of evolution within the next consciousness time cell as co-citizens, co-participants in the myriad of mentioned universities. So it's telling y'all that you guys either will receive your graduation cap and gown, or you will go back to the beginning stages of learning. But there will be justice and there will be a reunion of the masculine and divine feminine forces. And I'm gonna tell you that it is an intelligent battle first, which is construed in your mind or through your chakras. However, it is physical too. So you looking at the signs of your physical self to guide you back to your soul pattern. And I want y'all to understand that that is the true meaning of love. It is how you create within your heart space. If you know not of these things, then you do not know love, okay? Your mother is the first teacher of love. And unfortunately, they have taken the real mother up off her throne and away from everyone. She is opening up her heart yet again to those who can receive her. And that is also for the feminine, right? A lot of the sisters don't know yourselves. And so with that, you are creating more drama and more hassle for you on your ascension path, as you are the one who carries the womb. So you bear the burden of what is attached to this planet. So if it's chaos on this planet, that is on you to help yourself by hearing yourself and obeying yourself and opening up that healing that is needed wherever she may call you to heal from. It is going to be a hard thing because it's not supposed to be a test if it's easy, right? So open up your heart to receiving that. And I want y'all to have a blessed day. Enjoy yourselves. And be peace. Be peace. Don't just say peace. Be peace. See ya.